Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Cheryl Mercedes, investigative reporter here at KHOU 11 News. And thanks for joining us this afternoon. We are going to talk about something that is impacting a lot of Houstonians and people across the country. That is evictions. Courtrooms are packed daily here in Houston, Harris County, with folks just fearing that they won't have some place to live in the next 30 to 60 days. Some people we've seen even 2 weeks. We've been following some of the numbers and speaking to some legal experts about the number of case filings, where we started before the pandemic, where it went during the pandemic, and where we are now. I am joined now live by Maricarmen with the Houston Volunteer Lawyers. She is with the Evictions unit, and so she sees this every single day. Am I correct, Maricarmen?
Unfortunately, you are. Yes.
And tell us what you have seen in the last 2 years as far as the case filings are concerned and people seeking help here in Houston.
Well, initially, when the pandemic started, the case filings slowed down because there were different moratoriums in place to either keep people in their homes and stop the evictions from being filed, or to provide other types of protections to eligible tenants. That has since ended. There's a little bit of protection left related to rental assistance, and that protection is coming from the Texas Supreme Court emergency orders. But other than that, there's not much left in the way of protections. And really, we're going forward defending as many people as we can based on other issues, making sure that filings are properly filed and that everything is done correctly.
Okay, so let's back up a little bit. When folks come to you, they're looking to appeal the eviction, correct? Tell us how you help folks from that stance.
Yes, so our organization right now is working with the Harris County Courts at Law, which is where eviction appeals cases take place. Evictions are originally filed in JP Court, and if there's an eviction judgment entered in JP Court, you can file an appeal in County Court at Law. So that's what our organization is doing. Other organizations do work in both courts, JP and County Court at Law. Either way, it's the same trial. You're getting a new trial at the eviction level. And so we are trying to represent as many eligible tenants as we can through our volunteer program that we have in conjunction with the Houston Bar Association.
How successful have you all been in helping people get those evictions overturned?
Overall, we've been very successful. Everybody in legal aid knows that tenants fare better with legal representation. So any information you can get to help you in court is a big step up. And if you can get legal representation, you're going to do much better. So overall, we've got a really good success rate. At this time, we've represented over 175 individuals in court through volunteer lawyers in Harris County. So we're really seeing that the program has made a big difference in the lives of tenants.
Okay, so talk to us a little bit about what people need to do. It's scary. You get that phone call, you get that notice on your door, and people think, oh, I've got to move out now. But that's not the case. What are the steps they should take as soon as they get a notice or a phone call like that?
The first thing you should do is read through the paperwork, and you're right. You don't absolutely have to move out right then and there when you get the notice to vacate. That is the first step in an eviction process. You have to get a notice to vacate, and then the landlord, if you do not move out, can go ahead and file the eviction, and then the litigation takes place in JP Court. Contacting Houston Volunteer Lawyers or Lone Star Legal Aid or any of the 3 law school legal clinics, such as South Texas College of Law, Texas Southern University, and University of Houston. All 3 have law schools with legal clinics that are working in the eviction field. So contacting legal aid is your first step for either getting legal advice and in some cases for eligible tenants, getting legal representation for your trial.
Who qualifies for help? Can anyone with a notice on their door facing eviction just call up and get some legal help?
Yes, anybody can call. There's going to be eligibility requirements, but basically that will tell you whether you're eligible for services or not. You're still going to get a little bit of legal advice, even if you're not eligible, at least when you call Houston Volunteer Lawyers.
Give us an example. Who qualifies for help with you guys?
Well, it's going to be very specific based on our grants, but a lot of tenants are eligible, and it's going to depend on income.
We are looking at the numbers now. Houston, obviously, top 10 city, according to a lot of researchers who are looking at this specific issue. We've had rent relief. We've had the funds. A lot of people have said, quote, we've had a robust rent relief program in Houston and in Harris County, but the funds have run out. What is needed now? What is the solution to this dilemma we are facing?
So the funds haven't run out. They are close to running out. We have had a really robust program in Harris County, and because of that, some of the amounts from other counties have been reallocated to Harris County. So currently, the only individuals that are eligible for rental assistance through the Harris County program are those that have pending evictions filed. So you have to have an actual eviction in court. There's no guarantee that you can get rental assistance, but it's always worth applying. So that's some of the help that is still remaining. There may be more reallocations in the future. We don't know. But really, individuals really need to look at their situation and see whether it's feasible for them to stay where they are, to fight to stay where they are, or to make plans to move out. And that's something that legal assistance can help with in coming up with reasonable options for you to work out something that would benefit you.
What are some of the things you're hearing from people who are approaching you for help? The courtrooms are full. We've seen it. When they come to you, I mean, they're desperate, and this is a desperate situation. Let's be frank here.
So a lot of people are scared. They're scared of being homeless, which is a legitimate fear. There are organizations in Houston that can help, and we encourage everyone to contact any resources that are available to them. And that's through the city, the county, local churches, and neighborhood organizations. Reach out to family and friends. I know that's not always possible, and we try to point everybody in the direction of an organization that's going to be able to provide some assistance. That's different for everyone, but it's a really scary time. But we're coming off of this COVID pandemic and the flow of the rental assistance. And in a way, we're heading back to a situation where the issue is really enforcement of the law and the procedures in court for landlords to bring these evictions.
And one final question for you here. You know, we say Texas has great rental relief. Individual counties, some of them do have protections for tenants, Austin being one, but Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, Fort Worth, that's not the case. So how do we get to where Austin is right now in terms of that?
Yeah, Austin is a unique place. I'm originally from Austin, but I think it's going to take a coordinated effort between the county and the cities, Harris County and the city of Houston, as well as all the legal aid organizations and advocates for, I would say, homeless advocates as well as eviction advocates coming together and trying to work out a plan to prevent this disaster from getting worse in the future.
Do you have enough volunteer attorneys on staff to help folks facing eviction right now in our area? If not, how do people sign up, and also how do people facing eviction reach out to you all directly?
Well, I appreciate you asking that question. We are always looking for volunteer attorneys in Harris County. We have a few staff attorneys here at Houston Volunteer Lawyers, but part of our mission is to promote volunteerism with the local bar. So we don't provide as much direct services as other organizations might. If you're interested in volunteering in our eviction program, We have training to assist and mentor our volunteer attorneys. You just need to be a licensed attorney living in Harris County, and you can contact Houston Volunteer Lawyers, and they will get you in touch with either me or one of my colleagues in the program.
That sounds great. And then as far as for people seeking help, do you all have some online information as well? We have some links we'll supply this evening with our story, which airs at 6, specifically on this topic. But is there a phone number that you could give us that people could quickly write down and call you if they're experiencing something right now they have questions about?
So our main number is 713-228-0735. And you can call that number and they will give you the link to fill out an online application. And at that point, you will either be directed to get some legal advice or directed to an intake specialist to further process your case and potentially talk to an attorney.
Okay, so again, that number, 713-228-0735, correct?
That's correct.
Great. Thank you so much. Maricarmen Dollar with Houston Volunteer Lawyers, the eviction unit, joining us here online to answer some questions about this crisis and this dilemma facing a lot of people across the country, specifically here in Harris County. We will hear more from her, some other legal experts, and follow someone through the evictions process in JP Court today at 6 o'clock. You'll hear his story and the unique things he's going through, the challenges, and how these folks are helping him overcome those. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you on KHOU at 6 o'clock. Have a good afternoon.
Thanks. Bye-bye.